Hey guys, this is Mitch, and we're back with more X-Force. We took a brief vacation into the land of Todd. A wonderful place where the art is fantastic and the writing is ho-hum. Little did we know that the land of Todd would soon infest all of comics. But we're back now for Rob Liefeld's X-Force number 4. But before we get into it, if you enjoy the channel, if you feel like you might want to support me a little bit as an artist, what you can do is in the description, there's a link to my Patreon, and if you subscribe there, that gives you access to everything I do, including these videos before they get uploaded to YouTube, usually a week or so in advance. Also, all of my Blood Force stuff, the pages and the finished comics, and a few Patreon exclusives. Also, if you follow me on Instagram, you can DM me there for commissions. So, we're wrapping up the Sabotage crossover, and we're going to give this storyline some closure now. So if we recall what happened before, Black Tom Cassidy kind of teleported in his buddy Juggernaut, and they held Gideon and Sunspot for ransom. I got the impression there were supposed to be other people there. We never saw them, though. X-Force came to the rescue, and there was punching. And then Spider-Man also came to the rescue, and there was some better-looking punching. And then the top of the World Trade Center blew up, and the response, of course, was to punch. So now we're here. The good thing about Liefeld books is you can sum them up real quick. So, X-Force number 4. Let's take a look at this cover. It's going to be another Sideways book. I don't know why Rob is so enamored with the Sideways book. He's done it ever since his first gig in professional comics. The whole reason why he got kicked off Hawk and Dove was because he did a Sideways book without, asking anybody for permission first. And if you want to hear more about that, I suggest you watch Uncle Jerk's documentary about the Rob Liefeld Hawk and Dove incident. That is eye-opening. When you get down to the point where Rob's submitting comic pages without hands or feet because he figures his inker will just do it for him. So, yeah, Rob being a clueless asshole kind of started right at the beginning. So we're getting into this. I can't call this one of Rob's better covers. This is kind of standard, really, for where he would be going from here. Bunch of guys standing around. This is, I figure, how Rob would draw stuff before he actually got into comics, where he would just, I'm going to draw the characters. I did that when I was 12. I didn't draw any comics at the time. I would just draw my characters standing and posing and try to make them look badass. The thing is that, eventually you try to get out of that, theoretically. And Rob never really did. So yeah, a bunch of guys posing. Terrible, gigantic gun. There was no effort put into that whatsoever. I'm not sure. If I had to guess, I would say Rob probably inked the cover because Rob has a tendency to, go all out on the things he thinks are the most important. So if that's the case, he really phoned in this cover. And it's all done with microns as far as I can tell. And we're still going to get Cable in his giant Blue Beetle outfit. And Marvel still doesn't know how to handle a Sideways issue. Because guest starring Spider-Man. There we go. We figured it out. All right. So, we're going to start things up. This might be another quick one. There is no story in this. The art is maybe a little better. I think what may have happened is that Rob may have seen the pages that Todd was going to put out and went, shit, I got to match that. Although I think a large part of it is because Rob is now working by committee. I mean, you look at this here, this doesn't look the same as issue number 3. The colors are different. The inking is less crisp. And I think the reason for that, well, here, we'll go through. I mean, it's just a pose splash, which is fine. While everybody goes, how are we going to fight this dude? We're going to fight him with his punching. And Spider-Man makes a quip or two. And yeah, the Rob Spider-Man has devolved a little bit. But, here, let's flip over to the inevitable double-page splash. That's a fair bit better than the double-page splash we got in issue 3, at least. But you look down here. First of all, Joe Rosas is no longer coloring this thing. We're now getting colored by Brian Murray. He of Supreme fame. And Brian Murray is going to do his weird Brian Murray shit, and I am here for it. So like random highlights here. He's going to try and do all the shading himself. I think probably at the behest of Rob. You know, Rob expects his inkers and his colorists to do like 80% of his work for him and then claim all the credit himself. And they say, let's see, Rob Liefeld plot and art. But they also say this IYF jam. I'm not sure what exactly that's supposed to mean. I'm reasonably certain Marat Mychaels does the inks on a lot of this. I haven't seen anything specifically state it, but this doesn't look as clean as when Rob inks himself. And also, there's a higher level of detail, which says to me Rob was able to just whip off pages and then hand them off. I think in some cases, he's not even giving complete pencils. But, yeah, so this would be very early Marat Mychaels, if that's the case. I'm going to go forward with the assumption that it is. And he doesn't quite know what to do. One thing I've noticed is that these lines are very thin, a lot of them, because he doesn't understand things like different line weights. He might be doing this with a micron, for all I know. But it gives Rob the chance to, like, yeah, do more in-depth pencils. It does mean that some of it is going to end up looking a little weirder than Rob would normally hand in. But yeah, this is a pretty good start, at least. And, you know, this is pretty much going to be the issue where, you know, people go, what do we do? I'll tell you what we do. We go run and punch him. And yeah, you can see a little bit of Marat in, like, one telltale thing with Marat is the hands. He's about equally as bad at hands as Rob is, but like in different ways. And we get our screen doors, of course. Yeah, we're not going to get a ton of backgrounds in this. I think maybe a little more than usual, again, because Rob can spend a bit more time on the pencils. We get a lot of Juggernaut's face being blacked out when he's got the helmet on. I assume that's just a Marat thing, or maybe Rob didn't want to put in the detail when he was doing the pencils. Who knows? We do have a funny bit of transition. I don't know if you would even call it a tangent, but Shatterstar staying in the same position here, you know, like facing away from the Juggernaut. For one thing, it's funny. It's like he didn't move at all. It also makes it look like, because you fucked up the y-axis, it looks like they were all looking away from Juggernaut, and then they just kind of turned and went, punch! And Shatterstar didn't get the memo just yet. That's some good stuff. I'm okay with that. Not the way he intended it, but, you know. And then Spider-Man's going to jump all over Juggernaut. I'm not sure what the purpose of the curvature of the Earth here was. We're not covering up any feet. We made sure we had Juggernaut do the splits so that we didn't have to do his feet. You know. And again, for those saying Rob can't draw feet, we've got at least 3 Spider-Man feet here. He's fine drawing feet, so long as he doesn't have to try to make everybody look like they're standing on the same plane. It's okay. He wasn't going to bother putting in the lines, though. Although I think that might be a miscommunication with Marat. Because we saw previously, Rob was fine with doing Spider-Man lines at the end of X-Force number 3. I think he just assumed Marat would take over there. And horrible Liefeld fingers. Oh, I hope that shows up better than... I mean, I can't even see it that well here, to be honest. But, like, yeah, no, his hands have just kind of merged into a root structure that are trying to infest Juggernaut's helmet. But yeah, even close up, we're not going to bother with any kind of detail on Juggernaut's face. I guess you might have to draw shadows, like the shadow of the helmet on his face, and then you got to figure out shit. Like, you know, how deep into the helmet is Juggernaut's face? And just nobody's got time for that, except Todd. Todd has all the time in the world, apparently. So many ads. Remember back in the day when comics had ads? And, like, the ads were still kind of cool, and they helped pay for the comic, and, like, you know, comics made money. Remember those days? So, yeah, Juggernaut swats Spider-Man off him. Like, look at how messy this inking is. This could be blown up as well. Hard to say. Spider-Man crosses all 3 lines. Speed lines. This is where Marat makes his money. Actually, this does look like it might be blown up, looking at it, because these lines look a little squidgy. The faces look pretty good in terms of detail. But yeah, stuff like this looks like it was done small and then blown up. So I don't know about this entire page, maybe. And yeah, we're going to get our weird Brian Murray-ness. That is one thing I keep forgetting to look for. And you know it's all over. So again, highlights on the tassels here. Nice job. And just randomly throwing in different colors in the speed lines. Because Brian Murray gets bored easy. Or because Brian Murray was told, hey, you're the actual artist on this. You know, I need you to, like, step up and provide, like, a good 40% of the detail. And we get a fastball special. Pretty good double-page splash. Again, weird colors, like distracting. With how he differentiates in the speed lines here. And yeah, you really can tell that this is not Rob inking. That's okay. The structures all look pretty good. These all look like poses that he's probably tried a few times before. And went, you know, yeah, no, this is the badassest thing ever. Like this could have been done in like his notebook in high school. And then he's got to follow it up with something, a little flip over here. And like, I suppose he's doing cuts of some kind. Like, how deep are we in this book? Oh, this is only page 6. It feels like it should be more, but all the ads kind of lengthen it out. But yeah, so far we've had is fights. More ads. And landing on just a giant sphere. Again, that one does feel like he couldn't figure out how to make the feet look like anything. You know, the pose was cool, but I don't know what to put the feet on. Like, aren't we in the middle of downtown? Why is everything clouds? You know, if this was a Todd book, he might try for this pose, only he'd put him on rubble, and then he'd do that rubble in excruciating detail. That's the thing about Todd, at least. Then Juggernaut heals up a little bloody. And then we cut to Cable on the hunt for Black Tom. And Black Tom manages to sneak up behind him. Kind of amazing he managed that, considering there is next to no rubble for him to hide behind. You remember how much rubble there was when Todd drew it? You know, like, it's not everywhere, but there's certainly enough in the background here. And you get all your layers, and you get the impression they're in a collapsing building. And what happened to Gideon and Sudspot anyway? It feels like Cable just told them all to fuck off, and they just kind of did. So yeah, anyway. Somehow Black Tom managed to get the drop on Cable. Cable, he doesn't shoot him though, even though he's already blown up the World Trade Center. Like he said, Cable says here, what was the point of all this? And it's like, well, 1, I got the Juggernaut back, and 2, to show that Black Tom Cassidy's a man willing to back his threats with actions. Although he did tell him, don't move, or I'll fry you with my energy blast, and then Cable turned around and pointed a gun at him, and he hasn't done shit yet. And then we're going to get some more of Brian Murray supplying all the shadowing. It looks like Rob drew this just as normal. And then Brian Murray decided that he should be lit from below. So, I mean, good luck trying to figure out what constructs are what on a Liefeld face. But, yeah, no, he's gonna do all this lighting himself and try to do some extra highlights in here. Like a secondary light source against the side of his nose and everything. It's a good try. I don't think it works. I mean, the image does end up looking interesting, although a lot of it is just you're sitting there going, what the fuck is going on with Cable's face? So now, yeah, they're gonna just say their tough guy lines back and forth. They both shoot, but you know, Cable's wearing 3/4 of a Cadillac, so it didn't hurt him too much. And I guess he got a shot in on Black Tom, who all of a sudden leapt down, I suppose, an elevator shaft? Or just, I mean, it could be a hole. You know, I mean, the building is falling apart, but it doesn't look like a hole. It looks a bit like a trap door, to be honest. And this is a moment I think Rob was building up to, where, oh, you know, okay, you got me, pull me up and you can take me in. And Cable goes, oh, what, so I can let you out in a couple of months and we do this all over again? I don't play that game. And just shoots him down. And again, we get our weird Brian Murray lighting. Like, look at some of the colors he's throwing in here. It's like aquamarine and shit. Yep. Black Tom falls down the hole. And I guess that's supposed to be an elevator shaft. You're trying to I don't know. This looks like it's a hole in the floor. Oh, no, wait, you know what? I think this is a hole in the wall, like that, and he's flying backwards. Okay. Like, the tile ceiling does kind of give a little bit of continuity, and Brian Murray manages with the maintaining the same color. Yeah, okay, elevator shaft, we'll say that. But anyway, Deadpool catches his body and takes him off to Mr. Tolliver. Meanwhile, Juggernaut is still fighting with the X-Force peoples. And then we cut to Bridge at S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters. I love these template high-tech bathrooms. What? High-tech computer rooms. Where it's just, yeah, and we get that sound effect again. Wisp, 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 wisp. I guess that's what they've decided a helicopter sounds like. Oh, can't quite see it. There it is. Wisp, wisp, wisp. And yeah, it's, Rob is not going to put a lot of thought into what should be in a high-tech room, so he's just going to, yeah, use his templates and come up with something that kind of looks background designy. Again, like, are they fighting in the clouds? They're supposed to be on, like, a destroyed street, if I recall correctly. But, yeah, we find out that S.H.I.E.L.D. is looking to bring Cable down. Nope, more shirts. Including art just taken wholesale from the comics. You know, you can kind of see what their complaint was, you know? It's like, okay, it's the characters are what people are... Dude, you just ripped off my fucking art. I don't mean like a pinup. I mean, you took my panels. What the fuck? Same with this. I mean, you know, at least it's a gigantic shot of Magneto. And like, they don't really make good shirts. Although if people buy them, I guess it doesn't matter. Like, what are you doing here? Big old white band across the top and then just like a shot of Spidey going all the way around you? I don't know. Yeah, these shirts are terrible. I assume these made money. Okay, so cut back to the Juggernaut fight. They just keep fighting on this gigantic globe. That might explain why there's clouds everywhere. And Siren is able to pry the helmet off of Juggernaut because apparently when Shatterstar was cutting him up, that was what he was doing. He was like cutting the moorings on his helmet. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. As far as I can tell here, Shatterstar and Warpath and Domino are floating in space. Maybe Domino is on something solid. But, like, all these guys are just flying while Juggernaut is standing on, like, a 20-foot diameter globe. And that's everything that's been happening for, like, for the entire issue, really. And they decide they're going to attack each other again. And then Cable comes up out of nowhere and says all of his badassy things. Here, I'll narrate this. How about if you begin with me, Marco? This is my narrating voice. Because quite frankly, I am so sick and tired of dealing with blatant stupidity of your kind of mutant. Ugh, alright. And sick of you too! How many times will we have to dance the same dance over and over again? No winners, no losers, just the two of us playing the part of fools. Now if you take me on... Wait, what? Now if you take me on first and kill me, at least you'll put me out of my misery. Of course, if I take care of you first, which would be a nice twist on things, like I already did to your good friend up in the trade tower, then we're all done nice and neat. So tell me how you plan to die, Kane, and I'll tell you how good a fortune teller you are. Yeah. That's fucking terrible. This is why when I come up with like stupid shit for my guys to say in Blood Force, I'll have thoughts like, you know what, this is too dumb. Like, you know, and then you read the stuff it's from, it's, well, I mean, it's a different kind of dumb, but too dumb? I don't think so. Anyway, so yeah, they're yelling back and forth and talking about how good fortune teller they are when Deadpool teleports Juggernaut out of there again for Mr. Tolliver. And at that point, S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up to arrest Cable. And like you see here, like look what Brian Murray's doing in the background here, eh? He'd build on this at least. By the time he got to like Youngblood number 0, he was doing much more interesting stuff. But this just feels like your colorist is bored. And this straight up looks like Rob didn't even draw anything on this page. Like, all these things look like Marat things. I don't know. He might have just been getting down to breakdowns at this point, because we're getting near the end of the issue where Rob loses focus. And so, yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to arrest Cable. Cable decides to teleport them out of there. And, yeah, so I guess X-Force leaves, and Spider-Man's kind of left holding the bag, but they figure, he'll get away fine. The egg ship has leveled up a little bit. It hasn't really retained the Toddness, but it looks a little bit better than it did in issue 3 at least. And yeah, there's like no real, like, this, if this was supposed to be a crossover, nothing got, there was no storyline and nothing got resolved. So this is what happens when you get Rob and Todd writing at this time. And then after this, they decided that they should go on and write their own books. You know? You have to wonder what convinced them of that. And then, we had our nice Mike Mignola pinup. Like, that's worth cutting up your book for, to put on your wall. And this is leading up to an issue that is drawn completely by Mike Mignola. I think that's issue 8. I'm not for sure. We're not doing it this week, though. Maybe sometime in future, but no. For now, we can just enjoy the Mike Mignola-ness. And, like, just how much more interesting he makes everybody look, even though they're all doing the same thing that Rob would normally do, which is have people stand there. Now we get some cablegrams with some reactions to X-Force number 1. All of it is pretty just raving. You know, they didn't really publish much in the way of negative letters. This is Bob Harris, who's trying to keep his artists happy, so he's not gonna... he's not going to do anything that might upset them, like publishing negative letters. We do mention here, from some guy named Mangy, I saw the weirdest thing when I was watching MTV today. I just thought I'd drop you dudes a line, so there I was watching my MTV when I saw it. A Levi's Button Your Fly commercial with Rob Liefeld. At first I really couldn't make it out until I saw X-Force pictures in the background. I was excited. The first Marvel artist I see in person, well, on TV at least, is none other than one of my favorite artists, Rob Liefeld. And I said to myself, so that's what Rob looks like. I was expecting someone who looked a little bit older. Yeah, Rob would have been just turning 22 at this time. So he's just a baby boy. And apparently this guy was so excited he didn't really get what Rob was saying. This is the state that Rob induces in people, where he just gets them all worked up. And they don't pay attention to the content. They just go, X-Force! And then, yeah, the book is so awesome, blah, 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 blah. And that's going to do it for X-Force number 4. Probably a better looking effort than X-Force number 3. At least X-Force number 3 was pretty fucking shoddy. But, again, I think that was done by committee. So it's a bump up, but, like, it's still not a comic anybody would want to read, ever. Because there's nothing going on. There's been nothing going on for fucking 3 issues of X-Force so far. 4 issues. Because I don't think much happened in number 1 either. Well, a little bit, I guess. But not really. No, it's just, Rob doesn't have any ideas. Rob has images that he wants to get to. Whereas, I want to get to the badass shot of Cable standing over Black Tom Cassidy hanging in an elevator shaft. How does that happen? Well, they shoot each other lamely. And then Cable says, I don't play that game, Tom. I do believe that Rob's love of the medium is sincere. You know, he'll just get super excited about anything and go, oh my God, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. And then he can't think through how to make it the thing he sees in his head. Or, I don't know, just the thing in his head is this simplistic and he's this easily excited. That could be the case too. Anyway, we're going to come back again one more time for X-Force number 5 next time, because that is purely a Marat Mychaels, Brian Murray production. So we get to check that out. But that's going to do it for this one at least. Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notifications so you know when the next one's coming out. Go and subscribe on my Patreon. That gives you access to everything I do, from all the Blood Force stuff, the finished pages and comics, as well as these videos before they get uploaded to YouTube, usually a week or so in advance. and some Patreon exclusive content. And then if you go over and you follow me on Instagram, you can DM me there for some commissions. Or, I drop some drawings there every once in a while. You can check out all the Inktober shit I dropped in October. I'm doing the last one today. So that's, I'm excited about that. It's been a grind, man. These last few, it's just been, oh my God, get it done. Get it done. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.